Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Susie, and this is the Mindful Minute. Today I'm going to talk about the phases that communities typically experience as they move through a community-based crisis. As we experience the surge of the coronavirus in Franklin County, our plight becomes very real to us. A new level of anxiety is the normal response. Our awareness is heightened, while at the same time the unknown looms. It is helpful to anchor ourselves in some kind of predictability. Phases of community disasters have been studied for many years. We learned about them by observing community responses to natural disasters, where there is typically a pretty specific beginning and end. But pandemics were not included. Pandemics have many beginnings, as they move from community to community and from continent to continent. And the end comes slowly after the pandemic has shaped us anew. The phases of this pandemic are occurring all over the world and all at the same time, and with the internet we can witness all of it. Make a note of this as I describe them. I have abbreviated them to 4: heroic, honeymoon, disillusionment, and reconstruction. You can already recognize them. The typical first phase following impact is the heroic phase. Filled with adrenaline, we find ourselves doing amazing things. We're pumped. There's a high level of altruism. Look around you now and see the heroic actions. Ask yourself, how am I being heroic? Next is the honeymoon phase. We can also see this taking place. People who typically do not collaborate are working together. We got to know our neighbors and townspeople much better. Community bonding occurs. There is strong optimism that everything will return to normal soon. It is an especially important time that providers and organizations can establish rapport with affected peoples and groups and discover true needs. It is an important time to act because it does not last forever. A little key here is expectation. We typically expect to return to our old normal. The next phase will be less of a surprise if we begin to imagine the new normal. This takes imagination because disillusionment follows. We can also see this. It is in stark contrast to the honeymoon phase. During disillusionment, communities and individuals begin to realize the limits of disaster assistance. As optimism turns to discouragement, it begins to take a toll. The stress of this discouragement may trigger anger, outbursts, substance abuse, polarization between peoples and providers. An increasing gap between needs and goods leads some to feelings of abandonment. Our happy expectations that we imagined, that we imaged during the honeymoon phase are not accurate. Disillusionment can last for quite some time. Uncomfortable as it is and disconcerting as it is a natural phase of community crises, and it leads to construction of a new normal. The only way to escape disillusionment is to change the illusion, and as we adjust our illusions, we begin to rebuild our lives. Take a deep breath and observe. How are you having to adjust your expectations? We have all had to adjust our expectations. The reconstruction phase is characterized by an overall feeling of recovery. Individuals and communities begin to assume responsibility for rebuilding their lives as we discover our new normal and grieve our heartfelt losses. There will be some bumps, but we will get through this. It is imperative to us all now to stay safe, stay at home. The invisible COVID is moving through our towns and villages, but so is our resilience. Breathe deeply. Listen to the sounds around you, both near and far. Anchor yourself in the present moment. Thank you for listening and for doing your best. Together, we will become even better than before. This Mindful Minute brought to you by Farmington Recreation Department and Susie Sanders. Bye for now. Whoops. And don't forget to look for the helpers.